Hello everybody, Luke here, and today I'm going to talk about wood. So, anyways, here I have with me probably one of the worst Tamiya kits I've ever built. Well, I haven't built too many yet, but out of like 3 or 4, this is the worst. The T3476, 1943 model. As you can see, big words. So, in the kit, it came with these 2 logs molded in, and I thought they were kind of crap. I mean, they look sort of fine, but then you see the giant seam lines, and I thought that was really crap. So I decided I'm going to show you how to make a better one. So let's get started. Here I have some 320 grit sandpaper and a piece of sprue. So I'm going to use this long piece, and I'm going to make it simpler, cut it in half. Make sure you can get the ends as flat as possible with the sprue cutters. Well, as you can see, I got a little bubble in there, so I'm going to make it a bit shorter. As you can see, it's not exactly circular, which is a bit weird, but that's okay. Now the next step is to remove the seam line from the sprue. Now you don't have to do this entirely because, I mean, if you worry about it and you can't quite get it and you keep scraping at it and you even end up sanding it, then you're going to make it even less circular and it's not going to look convincing as a log. But if you don't entirely get rid of the seam line, that's okay. It just can't be so big that it's obvious that it was a seam line. Or maybe even worse, people will think that it's a molded part and you were too lazy to remove the seam line. And they won't believe you that you said, oh no, I scratch built this. So, once you have the seam line mostly removed, try to sand off the ends. Again, not perfectly, because this is supposed to be like a hastily cut log or something. That doesn't mean you can rush through this. I mean, I'm just giving a quick tutorial, because this is sort of an easy thing to do. And then, next step, I'm going to take either some 80 grit or 180 grit. I'm going to use 180 grit for this. And then, I'm using a metal ruler / triangle / circle things. And I'm going to pick the circle that best fits this thing tightly. It's okay if it like cuts into the plastic a bit on the sides. That's why we're doing this before we give the wood its grain. So you're going to twist it a lot, like that. And not sure if you can see it. Not sure if that helps. I don't know. I can't get it to focus. So I'm just going to continue to do that until I'm happy with the result. This will generate a lot of fuzz from the plastic, so it would be a smart idea to use some of this, or kind of brush it off at the very least. So once you're happy with those results on both sides, there are several directions you can go after this. You can continue to use those grits of sandpaper, 320, 180, 80 grit, but here is where I discovered some new methods. This is I don't know if you can see that, UNSC 256 tap from a tap and die set. And as you can see, it's perfect for making a bunch of big scratches in the wood. So make sure you do this on your desk. It's generating a lot of plastic fuzz and ribbons, and it can get messy. Now another technique I want to show is a special tool I bought, not just for this, but I found it's a good dual use. So these are this is a riveting tool from Trumpeter, or if you rather call it by their preferred name for their tools, Master Tools. I don't know why they'd bother to do that when it just says Trumpeter on the tool. You don't even need this. I mean, this came with these discs, but as you can see, they have different distances between each spike. So you can also use that to scrape. Now, what I would not recommend doing is just taking a standard hobby blade and going like that. You're going to split your fingers open, and it won't look very good. It'll keep slipping off. It's kind of like trying to walk on a log with butter for feet. I don't know. I don't know why I thought about that. Probably because I'm making a log. But anyways, you want to just, keep putting deep scratches into the plastic sprue until you're happy with it, and until it's all covered in scratches. And again, this generates a lot of fuzz, as you can see. Another few fine tools for the job would be a jeweler's hacksaw. I mean, that would be the best one, because those are very fragile, especially when they're moved sideways, this way, across the length of the teeth, or across the width, not the length. A regular but fine-tooth hacksaw, so one for metal, not for wood, so it has very small teeth. A razor saw, those, if you build models, you might already have one of those on hand. I don't. I do have a jeweler's hacksaw, but I haven't tried it on this yet. So I'm just going to give it one more pass with the 256 tab. Or die. I don't remember which. I forgot all of my manufacturing knowledge. So, after one more pass, it looks like a good piece of wood. Yeah, pretty good. Now there are a few more steps. I would recommend going over it very lightly with some kind of sponge or very higher grit sandpaper, like 400 at least, so that you don't ruin the texture that you made, but you can get rid of a lot of the plastic fuzz. And I'm going to zoom in again just to show you. That's all plastic fuzz. All of that. It's not hair, it's just fuzz. So, anyways, hang on. Anyways, there are a few more steps you can take. This is where you would want a hobby blade, an X-Acto knife blade. You know what? To be safer, I'm going to use... I almost killed myself saying that. So, to be safer, I'm going to use it with the handle. But you just go around tapping the edge. Because if you look at a piece of wood, the bark kind of starts to peel at those edges. So, and in a few places, do this like away from you, like go like that, so that you're not splitting your fingers open. So actually, I'm gonna take back that, unless you have like a glove on or something. Just be extra careful that you don't hurt yourself on this part, because these two fingers I managed to cut on the same day. Not while doing this, but this project right here, this model kit, has severely been detrimental to my health. That's how bad it is. So, was that the side I just did on? Nope. Okay. You do it on both sides. Just make sure you have good control of the blade. And then, once you're done, you can just, you can just have it as it is, but there is a lot of plastic fuzz. So what I'm going to do is just hold one end, get some plastic cement, and brush it on there. And after you're done with that, especially on the edges, like there, ooh, that was a bit much, but after that, you're good. And that is how it's done. Thanks for watching. See you next time, if I'm still alive.